Hello, and welcome to this, the most incredible
DVD extra
ever with me, Kayvan Novak.
And me, Ed Tracy.
Thank you for purchasing this wonderful duft, as we like to call it, because we're crazy.
How can I help you?
This is the pilot. This is the first taste the world had of Fonejacker. There were tastes before that, but none that we were allowed to actually unleash on the public. For those of you that saw the pilot on Comedy Lab in April 2005, thank you for watching. You helped us get the series, which is great. I think Ed wants to say thank you. Ed?
Thank you.
Great. Basically, we want to talk a bit about how the whole project came about and how me and Ed met. Ed, how do we meet?
At a friend's party.
We had a friend's party. Miranda's party. Hello, Miranda. We love you. Couldn't make the pilot or the series because she's having babies. Anyway.
But yeah, I was making a short film, or attempting to.
What was it about?
It was about minicab drivers.
Minicab. And who did you think looked a bit like a minicab driver at the party?
Mr. Kayvan Novak. So I said to Kay, look, come and be in this film. He was like, cool. He turned up amazingly and started acting or improvising. And it was great. So he got the lead role instantly.
Yeah. Although that had nothing to do with Fonejacker, but that was the birth of mine and Ed's creative partnership.
About 6 years ago or something.
Yeah, about 6 years ago, wasn't it? Crazy. And we did loads of other stuff and just bollocks and filming and not getting it anywhere and getting it somewhere and not finishing it.
But never sending it to anyone.
Yeah.
We never quite got around to that.
We ended up wanting to kill each other. And then I...
But along that route, Kayvan played me his CD of a load of prank calls he'd made.
Prank call, my first ever Fonejackings, which I did when I was a very frustrated, unemployed actor. Angry with the world and wanting to pay the world back. So I took all my aggression and turned it into humour and did like prototypes of Doof and this one, The Getaway, which is one that I did like
and that was the first
ago.
one. Well, basically, once I'd heard that CD and we all sat around, I was just the funniest thing I'd ever heard. So I thought, put that on TV, you're gonna make $1 million.
Yeah.
And so a few months later, I just started making The Getaway.
No, before that, Dimitri was the first one.
Dimitri.
Eddie it was like a 30-second thing, and Eddie just put the whole thing to the stills. I thought it was wicked, and then he just started working on The Getaway, and it was just a rough kind of basic mouse moving a few stills in there, and I was just like, wow, we can really just sit down. So me and Ed sat down for 3 days and nights and just obsessively just worked through it and kind of basically carved out the real kind of stills versus animation versus prank call format, which was The Getaway. Although The Getaway you see in the pilot is not actually the getaway we made, because of course doing it in your backyard, you don't think about clearing stills and getting permission to use pictures and all this shit that, you know, when we actually entered the world of TV, just seemed like a real pain in the ass. We were like, no, it's gonna fucking kill the humor. But apparently The Getaway, the original ones, found its way onto YouTube. Apparently.
Somehow.
Unbelievable. I don't know who got their hands on it.
Yeah. Well, we used to actually send it. I used to have it on my phone, The Getaway, very proudly, Bluetoothing it to people.
Bluetoothing it to random girls.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So.
Oh, yeah, I'll show you a bit more, yeah. You ain't seen my acting the gringo yet. Oh, yeah, baby.
So there you go.
So
and,
that's the
but
birth.
we had The Getaway, and I was trying to get some work as an advertising director.
Yes.
And Sarah Ward, hello Sarah.
Hey.
She was helping me doing that. She's working in advertising. So she sent this clip out to various people, and it did very well. But at the same time, Kayvan was watching late night TV, and he saw. It was
about 1 a.m. and I was watching Channel 4 with my mother, complaining to her that my career wasn't going as planned. And comedy came on TV, and I thought it was rubbish. I hated every second of it. And then it finished, and the announcement was Comedy Lab, Channel 4. You know, you think you're funny? Hey, send in your comedy clips and scripts, and you know, we'll see what we can do. So basically, I called Ed up, very excited. I was like, Ed, you know, we can really. Can you just make a compilation of like all the shit that we've done, just a 10-minute thing, and we can send it in. So I did this, and we had a 10-minute thing. He called it the. What's he called
The
it?
Unforgiving Minute.
The Unforgiving Minute,
from
right?
Rudyard Kipling's poem If
we can mention that. Great. So then I went to Channel 4, hand-delivered it to Shane Allen. Who was
on the last morning of possible deadline.
Yeah, on the deadline. To Shane Allen. Shane, we love you. Didn't hear anything for about 2 months, was it?
Yeah,
and then I get a message on my phone.
Well, I get the call, and then...
and then I get a message on my phone.
I called you, you were on your bike.
I was on my bike, yeah.
Cycling down the one-way of a dual carriageway or something.
Something like that. And it was like, they want to meet us. We've got a meeting. So we were like, fucking brilliant. So I gathered like 2 CDs worth of prank calls and some scripts. And we sat down, and I was like, so man, you know, great. And he was like, so I was like, what do you think of the scripts, man? What do you think of the scripts? He's like, yeah, you know, scripts are good. You make it a short film. What about these calls, these prank calls? These are great. You know, what are you going to do with those? And we had The Getaway, and we had a couple of others. We had a Mob Facelift, which is like me calling up a plastic surgery, pretending to be a gangster and wanting to be on the witness protection program, and I'm about to get killed. Blah blah blah. So he was like, develop the idea of prank calls. You know, we've got this stills animation. What else can you do? So we're like, okay, fuck. So
Thought we could do it live.
yeah. So what did we do? I got my mum's Jeep. I got Ed Tracy, the camera. Put Ed in the boot of the Jeep. Ed's about 6'5", and the Jeep's boot is not. Ed's like lying on his ass on his back with a camera on a tripod. I'm sitting in the front of the car with a mini disc recorder and a loudspeaker mobile phone, right, balanced on my knees. I'm driving around looking for targets. We pull up outside on double yellows and red roots and shit, and just call them up, and Ed just films them. And we managed to get like 3 decent or half decent calls, and Ed just cut them together and put them to a bit of music, and we presented them to Channel 4, and we thought, right, so now we've got animation and we've got live action. It's brilliant. Fuck, I think we can make a show.
But the longest thing we'd ever really made of any substance was probably like 3 minutes long, even though we'd been working for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, 12.5 minutes, that's what we're up for. Bloody hell, I don't know how we can fill that long. Kay's like, no, we want the half hour,
Gotta get it. Gotta get the half hour. So
he was bravely thinking that we could actually extend this idea to fill a whole half-hour show.
yeah, definitely. And I think, you know,
We
were
nearly
right.
made it.
Yeah, we nearly did it. So I got Mario involved at Hat Trick Productions. Mario, we love you too. The only executive producer who ever returned my emails. So for those of you that didn't, you missed out. And Mario, you did, and you know, we came good with your guidance. Blah blah. Won't suck your dick anymore. But yeah, Christmas time. 3 months of developing and go back and forth with Channel 4 and oh, did we get it? Did we not? They were like, you got the commission. Make a pilot. We were like, woo! Make the pilot.
With more money than we'd ever dreamed of using to make
Now
a
what
show.
the fuck are we gonna do? We thought, fuck, okay, make a pilot. So of course, we have to be legitimate now. So me and Ed, 2 gorillas, coming into an office and sitting down with like heads of production and executive producers and production assistants, and you know, to be honest, how we felt was we felt quite oppressed. Really, we were quite like, oh no, you know, they're ruining it. They're gonna try and control everything, and you know, we treated everything with much suspicion, as I think 2 artists would when they kind of come into the real world of money and like guarantees and deadlines, and you know, nervous people who basically love what you do, but at the same time don't trust you, and vice versa. We didn't trust them. So that was quite a difficult process to kind of like shed the amateur status and get professional with it, because we had a budget and we had responsibilities, and it was good. I mean, something like this was like the next level of live calls. So I think this worked really well. And the reason their faces are blurred, of course, is because we couldn't get permission to use the call, and the reason the Rolls Royce, is under a silver platter is because we weren't allowed to show that it was a Rolls Royce carriage. Although I've completely blown it now by mentioning both Rolls Royce.
Stop. I have to change it to Mazda.
Yeah, we will. We'll just bleep it. But
so we finally it was 3 months it took us to make the pilot. I think it was
3 months to make the pilot,
and it was literally down to the wire in terms of material. I remember the Shane Allen coming over. He was like, "Okay, this is it, boys. What have we got?" And I had to actually take the entire computer, because we edited everything in the office. We basically turned what was before in my sitting room just with a laptop and a camera. We basically transported that into Hattrick offices. So we took the computer in, and it was right. Okay, we've got to lose this call, lose that call.
Yeah.
Give us the grand total, and it was the moment where I had to delete everything and give him the grand running order, and that was the sweat was running.
Precisely, not very much.
Yeah, but thankfully it just scraped in.
Yeah, we did. We just had to work day and night. We were sleeping in the office.
Yeah.
Famously, we're like Hattrick legend. The bank holiday weekend, me and Ed slept in the office, and of course, Ed was very thoughtful, and he brought me in a picnic rug because I had to sleep on the floor, and it was quite cold down there. And of course, on the bank holiday Monday, a runner comes into the office, and we've broken open a window because it was air conditioning or nothing in there. So we had to break open a window. And so the runner comes in and finds me wrapped in a picnic rug.
Unshaven.
I'd grown a beard by that point.
No sleep for 3 days.
No sleep, no washing. Window open. She thought that Spider Tramp had jumped up a drain pipe, climbed up the side of a 3-story building, broken a window, and come inside to sleep. That's how bright runners can be. And then she had to get another runner to come and confirm that no, that's the Fonejacker guy who does the funny calls. Yes, him. It smells. And
so anyway, cracking on.
Yeah, cracking on to what? I don't know. The whole situation. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to know, oh viewer? What would you like?
Well,
to
it was
know?
basically me and you, wasn't it, on the pilot? It was,
Yeah.
It was me and Kay doing the animation. I taught Kayvan how to use the editing software, and so we were basically working as a team, like on a lot over the whole thing.
Yeah.
Day and night.
That was it, wasn't it? It was just me and you. It's so weird now to think back because, of course, doing a series, you can't do that. You can't just have 2 people.
Yeah.
So, we had to get more animators. And that, again, once again, making the transition from, like, the pilot to the series, you've got to have more trust of more people and let go of more responsibility, And this
Less
is one
time.
thing that, you creatives out there who want to get your own show and want to sell lots of DVDs and become very rich, as I'm sure you will, you'll find out that finding good people to work with is tricky, but you have to be open to that and you have to be trusting. And you'll be surprised at what gems you'll find out there, definitely. But not to stop ever dreaming. Remember, hold it in your heart. Oh God, listen, I had a really heavy fucking night last night, and not making excuses, but if this commentary is lacking in energy, I promise you, the next commentary is a fucking firecracker. With our man, Mr. Tibbs. I think he's coming in, is he?
He is,
a special VIP session. Paid him a lot of money to be here, so hopefully he'll do the job. Balaclava.
Right.
Sunglasses.
History of the look of
The
Fonejacker.
look of Fonejacker. Fonejacker originally was a man in a balaclava with just a hole cut out of his mouth and the Lebanese scarf and everything. And it was just that he lived in the top of Center Point, and he would call all he surveyed, He'd just be at the top of there, 30 stories, London at his beck and call through a telephone, and he was the Fonejacker, And of course now on the series, the look is slightly more accessible, less aggressive, I guess, less dark. It's just one of those things that you have to kind of come to a compromise with when dealing with, executives who want to feed this to a lot of people, It's all very well cult and niche and late night Channel 4, but, if you're going to go mainstream, which I guess, we have done, without selling out, I might have you, Ed, we've kept to our roots, you got to bring the funny bobble hat and, lighten it a bit. But I think that worked a treat as well, it was the right balance. It's
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I had an equally heavy night last night.
They don't want to hear
let's
about
talk
that.
Look, George.
I just paid like £20 there for this fucking double edition DVD, yeah, with the commentaries and that. And all of a sudden, like, he's talking about fucking heavy nights, and I don't give a fuck about your fucking heavy night. You fucking tell me something interesting, yeah, that fucking, hey, yeah, follow your heart and like, oh, production, oh, don't trust you. Just shut the fuck up and get on with making a fucking show. Like,
That's a new character for series 2. He's called the Whiny Scouse Bastard. The Whiny Scouse Bastard actually is absolutely right. We've been talking utter shit. We'll probably have to redo this.
You are Miss
Yeah.
Jones?
Producer's on the line now. Yeah, the more filming, sure. Is that right? The more film. Sorry, we've just been given a prompt by a producer to talk about what again? Sorry, yeah?
The more filming. There was more of this. Well, obviously you can see here where that was the first time we got to spend a bit of money filming, really, wasn't
That's
it?
right, yeah.
We had lights, we had smoke, and we had a bank vault.
Oh,
We had a dwarf.
We had a dwarf, and we had
We had
load of
lots of
extras.
monets.
It's great. I was really upset actually that day because I really wanted it to be real steam because it was a steam clean, and it wasn't. It was smoke, and I remember having a real go at Lotta, who was our assistant producer.
Fascinating. Look.
About I just wanted to say I'm sorry, Lotta, for like shouting at you because it wasn't because I was getting a bit uppity about it.
But yeah, here we go. Look, this is before we had a special camera bag made. It was basically just me with a camera standing there.
Yes.
This was the last Saturday before we had to deliver it,
That's
like
right.
4 days before. We were desperate. There's me out in Soho trying to
How would you
film
do it?
live calls.
Ed would go out with a camera, pretend to be a tourist, say, hey, you know, might need a rickshaw sometime. You know, and some of them were like, hey, get away from me, fag. And then some of them would be like, yeah, sure, no problem. I don't think I can say, doesn't matter. So you'd get their number,
Yeah.
and then you call me up at the office.
And then I'd sort of have to pretend to walk away, and then I'd kind of chase them, essentially, and Kay would call them up, and we'd do the call.
That does look so good, I've got to say.
That
That
grade.
grade looks rocking.
It's pretty out there, man.
It's really nice.
Looks more filmy, yeah.
Yeah. It was basically a narrative that we didn't really, no one really cared about. You just wanted to get to the meat and potatoes. You just wanted to get to the call with like a bit in the middle that reminded you it was Fonejacker. So all the, you know, me walking around in my pants and stuff, it didn't really, I don't know, it was great for a pilot to say, look, we could do it like this, or we have the imagination to come up with this shit. But at the end of the day, we shed it, and it wasn't painful to shed because, you know, it saved us a lot of sweat. And it was just, you know, one of those things. There was actually a pain in the ass to replace because doing the series, we were like, we filmed loads of other shit, which is either going to be on the DVD or not. I hope we can put some of it on. But basically how to show the Fonejacker in between the calls. Like me walking around, me in a cafe, me, you know, just on the toilet. It was all these different ideas that we had that we had to just try and like send up to Channel 4, and they were like, yes, no, maybe, you know. So it was that was a pain to get that right. But, you know, I think we got it right with the magical stings, which rock.
So here's early Miggins.
Early Miggins. Now that is actually a picture of Saddam Hussein, which I had to adapt very shittily in a way that made him still look like Saddam Hussein, but not. And I love the genie. It's great. This was almost the last weekend.
This was
as well.
literally we had to fill an extra bit of time, and it took a day and a night to do this.
We did the double team, man. Ed was doing all the genie stuff, then I was doing all the lip syncs and the stills. And then he made the room, and he made Lee Marvin there as the genie with Ayatollah Khomeini as the body, and he did initially he'd done Space Invaders, and then of course Mario, executive producer, was like, "Oh, it's great. Have we cleared Space Invaders?" We were like, "Eh, clear? What does that mean?" And we had to change it.
There are a few funny things actually toward the end of the pilot, which suddenly legal we had to change it. One of them was on the Duvde adverts.
The Duvde advert.
When it says Duvd and then there's a bit of Chinese writing.
Oh yeah, the Chinese man.
And I just taken that Chinese writing off the BBC's Chinese website, and it evidently taken the wrong bit because it said something like "kill Blair with terror and bombs," and at the last minute had to change this. You know, it's the biggest nightmare to change it because it's all embedded in the video.
Oh, dude.
That was one of them. What was the other thing we had to change?
I don't know, man, but we had to lose all the golf sequence, which we loved very much. You know, it's very close to my heart. There's Barry there.
Yeah, and Pete.
In the near ground, and Pete in the background just got
Friends
a
of
golf
mine.
club on the back of the head. I just had this wicked desire to hit golf balls off centre point.
That's the car. That's your car. We used to do the filming
in the back of there, man. That was
the
Ed
one.
for the live calls. We actually had another target as well that didn't make it, which was a charity chugger on Carnaby Street, which also got smacked hard because they deserve it. I just can't stand them. Sorry, I hate them. Anyway, lovely shot.
We loved that shot. We couldn't actually get back onto that roof for the series.
We couldn't. Although the people that did the promo, if you'd seen, did get back on the roof to do that.
Because they had tons more money.
Yeah, loads of money.
Hey, look, it's over.
Hey, it's gone. Jesus. Well, that's that.
Too Tall and Coco.
I don't know if we even mentioned fucking half the shit we wanted to.
We should say thank you to
to who?
A few people, the
Who?
exec producers who came in.
I said thank you to everyone already.
What about
Who?
Alex Jackson Long?
Yes, love you.
Thank you, Alex Jackson Long.
It's over.
Thank you, Hattrick.
That's a
Bye.
rabbit.